My grandma worked 3 jobs as a maid, and she was a maid and a cook, and she was damn good at every job. And she just wanted to make sure that we had everything that we ever needed. We lived in a house. We never lived in apartments. But, she worked really hard. Every Christmas was wonderful, was family. Every Sunday was big dinner. Christmas time was like huge. She would always start cooking the day before Christmas because she would make so much food, and we'd have all the toys and clothes and shoes and games that we wanted. I mean, it was wonderful having her in our lives. And I feel, if I had to exist in this world, I'm so grateful that she was the one that I got to exist with. I've never known a woman like her, and I don't think there'll ever be another woman like her again. They just aren't made anymore. They aren't created that way anymore. And that's sad to say, but it's true. I mean, this was a woman who took in 4 children. At the time there was 4 of us, now there's 6 of us. But at the time she took in 4 children, none of which were her own. And she put up with a lot of my mother's crap just so she could protect us and take care of us. She worked 3 jobs. She'd get up. I remember her getting up at 4 in the morning. Every morning she'd get up around 4 and she'd listen to KFI, talk radio, and she'd, have a cigarette, and she'd have her coffee, and she'd get us up for school, and then she'd go off to work. And she did that for many, many years. And she never complained. Not once. Not once did I ever hear her say, "I'm not going to work today." Not once did I ever hear her say, "I'm sick and tired of getting on this bus and going to Santa Monica 5 days, sometimes even 6 days out of the week." Because a couple of the families she worked for were Jewish. So if there was a Jewish holiday coming up, a lot of times she had to work over the weekend. If we ever went to someone's house and they had to watch us overnight, she always made sure she went to the grocery store and that they had food designated for us. Like, she just did that. And on top of that, she gave them money. She paid them, and I mean, she paid them. It wasn't like, here's $20 or here's $50. No, my grandmother was not like that. She never, I guess, wanted people to ever pity her or think that she was trying to take advantage of them or ever feel like she had in some way cheated them. She always overcompensated in everything that she did. And she never had a boyfriend. Never. And I remember a Jewish guy who owned a furniture store always flirting with my grandma. She was really tall and she had these huge boobs. She was like a 52F or something like that. And all natural and dark skin, very dark skinned. But she had these like Indian features, like the nose and the lips, but she was Afro, and I just remember that guy always flirting with her, always trying to get her to go out. But no, she never did that. She never did that. Never once did she have a strange man around us. She was just very upstanding, very moral. I could go on and on and on about my grandmother. I mean, she had her side too, because I was always the one to test her unknowingly. I mean, I told you guys I'm very much like my mother. And so, mouthy and just, you know, spoiled, and always wanted my way. And sometimes she would get so angry with me, but I always knew she loved me and she loved, my siblings. And she would have did anything for us. And she did do anything for us. She took a lot of shit off my mother just so she could protect us, because I believe that sometimes my mother would threaten to take us away from her, And my grandmother always knew that if she did that, she really didn't know where we would end up if we were left in the hands of our mother. So my mother used that to her advantage, I'm sure. I mean, I didn't know that at the time, but thinking about it years later in my adulthood, yeah, I'm sure, So she was greater than I ever even knew at that time. Yeah, that was my grandmother. So I was exposed to a lot of love and a lot of evil